When asked what is nuclear waste, most people might answer garbage from nuclear plants, or perhaps the production that comes from reactors. Certainly, it is nuclear for an atomic power plant or a variety of research institutes act, and it has devastating effects to the environment. Types of nuclear waste. High-level waste. You will find that there are two types of nuclear reactors. These types are the pressurized and boiler water reactors. This radioactive waste has to cool off for several years and it is considered to be very dangerous. Low-level waste. Most of the radioactive waste that is around today is considered to be low-level. Nuclear reactors, hospitals, dental office, and similar types of facilities often use low-level nuclear waste materials. In addition, low-level nuclear waste is not severely dangerous.
The reason why nuclear waste is a problem is that dumping nuclear waste into the sea makes water pollution. Many nations have abandoned the dumping of nuclear waste in the baths, as many nations believe it is not harmful enough to take away their lives. Despite the adoption of a London Convention banning garbage dumping in 1975, the dumping in many countries has not been suspended. If marine dumping continues, animals living away from radioactive will be severely contaminated with radiation. Then we suffer from eating the organisms. Also, marine creatures may become extinct. Nuclear waste can be used as a nuclear bomb. Plutonium, which is available for nuclear waste, is excellent as an essential ingredient of nuclear bombs. Countries with nuclear waste can use nuclear bombs to eliminate them. Another problem is the radiation problem. Because of radioactive waste from nuclear waste, cell radiation can be devastated and become disease.
There are some famous examples of discarding radioactive waste. First, Russia discarded the radioactive waste into rivers or lakes, so Karachay Lake near the Ural Mountains has been severely polluted, and radioactive dust was blown into thousands of kilometers and polluted a lot of people. That gives a bad effect for human's body. Since 1953, the Soviet Union began to use steel tanks to store waste for reprocessing. The tank is overheated and explodes, so it causes the surrounding area to be polluted in 1957. It is harmful and devastating for humans and the environment. Second, after the accident of the first nuclear power plant in Tokyo, Fukushima, masks and gloves used in removing contamination are discarded in near convenience shop waste buckets commonly. Although discarded, they are likely to be contaminated with radioactive substance. They have been considered as ordinary waste because they are discarded at local shop waste bucket. They used in the decontamination special area and mandatory a statute for measuring the radiation after use. If pollution exceeds a certain point, it is kept in interim storage facilities with contaminated soil. The worker in charge of operations at Teruma set gloves and masks contamination measurement facility on site but do not use it. They are discarded at the convenience store or dormitories waste buckets.
In Korea, spent nuclear fuel is stored temporarily in a state where a large tank is stored in each plant. Originally, the Gori nuclear power plant was going to be filled this year, but the saturation point was extended to use compact storage, which narrows the gap between the spent fuel and containers. The heavy water reactor's spent nuclear fuel is put into a temporary state, which is a large concrete structure next to the plant, but this is also predicted to be saturated in 2019. There is no more space to store radioactivity. If it spreads out, people will be exposed to it and cause severely harmful effects. So the government should devise long-term planning and proper system to handle it.
Recently, the government announced high-level radioactive waste management master scenario, based on the recommendation of the relevant committees. First, construct URL underground research laboratory.
recycling and immediate storage facilities by 2012. Second, operate the immediate storage and URL in 2030. Third, operate the permanent disposal machinery in 2051.
Also, as soon as gases from burning coal briquettes used for heating and cooking should be replaced with city gas, an intention of the generation of waste should be reduced as much as possible because they are harmful to our environment and severely pollute the environment. Prevent the waste spread over exaggerated packaging and expensive and light single use should be restrained. The first solution is to reduce the production of waste. This and waste separate collection is excellently fine. In order to increase the efficiency of waste, separate collection is basic and the most important. So you can reduce the waste volume and recyclable waste can be utilized as a resource if the remaining waste is eliminated collectively from the environment. We can prevent more waste.
The certain alternation in order to reduce waste, we should be environment management. So you must reduce greenhouse gas emissions such as CO2. And in order to reduce the spread of contamination of water, you need to reduce the amount of shampoo and head hour wash. To prevent air pollution, you should use public transportation. It is essential that we use good practice and separate the garbage collection from our environment. Let's practice right now.